blocks or books, those might be handy to have because we will be doing some lunging stretches towards the middle of class. Otherwise, I think you should be good. We may or may not use the strap. I'm not sure if we'll get to those stretches or not. So let's start today doing what Johnny's doing. We'll start today laying on our backs. So however you're comfortable here, you can have your knees bent or you can have your legs flat. However you're best able to relax here. Maybe let your eyes close down, slowing your breath. Really think about letting your spine relax here. Let it get used to being flat instead of holding you upright. Just feel your ribs expand on every inhale. And contract on every exhale. Feeling your belly rise on every inhale and fall on every exhale. Just really sort of tuning in to that breath. If your knees are bent, start to bring your legs flat, one at a time. And then reach your arms behind you. You can either have your palms facing up here, or you can interlace the fingers and press your palms back. See what feels better for you today. If you feel yourself really pulling into a back bend here, then try and fight your way out of that just a little bit. Pulling your belly button in, your low ribs in, just flattening your low back towards the floor some. And then reaching your legs, making them long. Keep your face relaxed. Now with your legs long, flex both feet. Pull your pinky toes back towards your knees. And then press your heels down. Press them down to the mat so you're really strong here. Hold on to your nice relaxed breath. Keep your face soft. Keeping your left leg as it is, release your arms, bend your right knee and pull it towards your right shoulder. So really thinking more shoulder than chest here, slightly outside the body. Keeping that left leg strong, keep that foot flexed, maybe even pressing that left heel just slightly forward. Breathe here. better for you here, you can find some small movements with this bent knee, sort of circling in that hip or from side to side a bit. Or maybe it feels better today to just really hold that strong static stretch. Decide what feels better for you. I have about 30 more seconds here. Slowly releasing that leg back down and reach your arms overhead again. And find all that length in your body again. Both feet are flexed, pressing the heels down. Breathe. Really strong here. This time keeping the right leg as it is, bending the left knee and pulling it in towards the left shoulder. And keeping that right leg really strong, maybe even pressing forward with that right heel a little bit. Really exaggerating the stretch. You really want to feel it in your hips. Stay really focused in on that breath. Keep feeling your ribs expand, your belly rise. And just feel that breath travel. If it feels better to find a little bit of movement here in that hip joint, go ahead and do that. If it feels better today to just hold it, then do that. Bending the right knee up to join the left, pulling both knees in towards the chest. And this time we're going to lift our head, rounding the spine and pulling the head towards the knees without too much force here. Just take a few slow breaths here. Pulling the knees in, the shoulders up. Releasing the shoulders, the neck, the head. And drop both knees down to the right. Keep your shoulders down. And let's extend both arms out to the sides. Palms facing up. And look towards your left here. As always, adjust as needed here. You don't want any pain or twinges or catches in your back. If your knees need to prop up on a block, allow that to happen. Or maybe one between the knees. Let your shoulder blades relax. back to the center. And then once more, we're really gonna hug the knees in. Lift your head and your shoulders. Your core is really compressed here. You're really squeezing that belly button in. Breaths are a little bit shallow here. Releasing your shoulders and your head. And let the knees drop to the left this time. Let's bring both arms out to the side and look towards your right. Face here, letting the shoulder blades fall nice and heavy down towards your mat. Rolling back to the center. And third and final time here, squeeze the knees in, lift the head and the shoulders. Just some shallow breaths here. Keep the core pulled in nice and tight. Either rock or roll your way up to a seated position here. And then we're going to make our way right away to all fours. Finding here, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And spread your fingers. Not as just as wide as they'll go. Don't put a lot of force on them, but spread them out. So you're giving yourself a nice wide base here. That will be better for your wrists. Now we're going to come to cat-cow. But today, we're going to think about really leading this charge with our tailbone. So think about leading with your tailbone on your inhale. From the tailbone, hips go back, the belly's coming down, the face is pulling forward. And then as you exhale, leading the charge from the tailbone, start tucking under, rounding your spine, tucking your chin. Now keep going with this, leading from the tailbone. Your inhale is to your cow. The slower, the better here. And exhale to your angry cat. But keep going at your own breathing pace. And when I think about leading with my tailbone here, it makes me realize how much I usually lead this stretch with my upper spine. Give yourself one more inhale and exhale here. And after your exhale, just finding a neutral spine. Let's step our knees back just a little bit. And bring your attention back to your hands, making sure those fingers are spread nice and wide. Pressing down with all 10 fingertips, suction cups with the palms. And then tuck your toes and find downward facing dog. Being really slow here in down dog, finding some movement. Slow bends in the knees. Hey, you hush. Shh. Here comes the cavalry. Think about pressing up through the arms, lifting the tailbone. And maybe even letting the hips sway a bit from side to side here. Just noticing how everything feels in your down dog today. Now either walking your hands back to your feet or your feet to your hands, or meeting in the middle, however feels best to you. And then when you're there, inhale halfway up. And exhale, fold forward. Really soft knees here. Nice bend in the knees. And then on your inhale, arms wide, flat back, look forward, rise all the way up. And then exhale, hands down that center line. Now, if you're at the back of your mat or in the middle, let's make our way forward to the front of the mat. And on your next inhale, bring your arms overhead. Lift the chest just a little bit. And as you exhale, fold forward, chest first, bend the knees. Then come halfway up here. And step back with the left foot, even if it takes you a few steps to get there. Now we have choices today. We can have that left knee down in a low lunge. This gives us more of a stretch. If you're wanting more strength today, then lift that knee up into more of a runner's lunge. So either way is okay here. Decide what you want today, the strength or the stretch, and settle in there. If you have books or blocks, they can be really handy here, just to make the arms a little bit longer. And breathe. That right hip, we want to pull back and in some. We don't want it to sort of fall into the front, into the side. We want the hips to be neutral. So it's gonna pull back and in. So our hips are right there together. That applies to this higher lunge and to the low lunge. From here, we're going to switch sides, and I want you to do this however you like. If you want to walk this foot forward and step back, maybe you can manage it in one big step. So however you want to get there, left leg in front, right behind. And again, the choice. The knee down is a really nice, long, deep stretch here. The knee up, you're still getting some stretch, but you're also really working on your strength. So hold here and breathe. That left hip is pulling back and in. And in both, we want to avoid really falling down low into this hip. So think about pressing up out of gravity just a bit. Think about pressing into that front heel some. Long spine. We're going to switch sides again. So again, however you like. Sometimes it's easier to step back more into a plank or down dog, or do it from the front, whichever way feels better. This time, we're all gonna bring that left knee down. And then rise up here a bit in your low lunge. Careful that the hips don't follow you when you rise up, but keep that thigh a little bit lower to the ground here. We're gonna press into the right thigh a little bit. Lengthening the spine. And we're going to add a bit of a twist here. So you can either bring the left arm outside that knee and twist back, or if you want to take this a little bit deeper, find prayer hands, twist from the core, and bring that elbow outside the knee, and then twist open that way. So whichever way is going to feel better for you today. Just listen to your body. Both ways are correct. A couple more breaths here. If you're feeling the strength today, you can tuck the toes under and lift back up into a higher lunge. That is completely up to you. Slowly untwist. We're going to switch sides again, however you find it easiest to switch. This time, everybody's starting with that right knee down. Now, keeping an eye on this back leg here as we rise up. We don't want it to move much. We don't want it to follow us. It's really tricky that way. It wants to rise up. Stay down in this stretch. And for a few breaths, we're just going to interlace the fingers, press into that left thigh. We're giving ourselves maybe just the tiniest back bend here. Lifting up with the chest. And then coming to your twist. So we're twisting towards the left, towards that front leg. And either just bringing that right arm on the outside of that knee and twisting back. Or if you're wanting to go deeper, find the prayer hands, twist from the core and bring that elbow outside. It really is a deep twist. And it's not going to be for everybody today. And for the last few breaths here, if you wanted more power, you could tuck and lift. Or stay down in this low stretch. Either way is correct. Slowly untwist. And let's just come to all fours here. these blocks aside. And then find plank. You can either have your knees up or your knees down. Either way is correct. Unlock the elbows. And then slowly release all the way down to the ground.
Hey Sarah.
Yeah?
Check your connection. You just went dark on mine.
I did? Okay, let me look. Am I back?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you. It says low battery now, so we'll see what happens. Where was I? Oh, we're going to release all the way down. All the way down to the ground here. And keeping your hands under your shoulders, or maybe a little bit wider, reach back with all 10 toes. And we're going to stay down for our inhale. And on your exhale, pull the chest forward and up, a gentle little cobra. And inhale, come down. I know it feels backwards. And exhale, forward and up. Inhale, come down. And exhale, forward and up. This time, hold here, but keep breathing. Hush, hush. Our mailman came early. Keep breathing here. Oh, vicious. Vicious, vicious. And then release all the way down. And we're going to bring our arms back by our sides. Rest on either ear here. Let the feet relax. Even let the hips sway side to side a couple of times. Really feel your belly fall heavy towards the mat. Relax the fingers and the toes. Now looking forward here, maybe resting on your forehead or your chin. We're going to lift the right leg up a little bit and then reach it back further, like you're trying to pull your leg out of your hip. Make it long and then set it down. And do the same with the left. Lift it up a little bit, reach, 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 make it longer, make it match the right, and then set it down. Pressing down with the tops of your toes, the tops of your feet, glue them down. And then lift your chest, reach back with your arms, squeeze your shoulder blades closer to each other in the back. Keep pressing down with the tops of your feet and breathe. And then release. You can rest on your forehead or either ear. Finding the legs strong first, reaching back with all 10 toes. This time we can come to that the exact same way, pressing down with the feet and lifting the chest. Or if you'd like to lift the feet as well, you can lift up, reaching back with the toes, back with the arms. Breathe. Reaching back with all 10 toes, even more on the big toe side. whether your feet are up or down. Keep reaching them back. And release. Either resting on your forehead or the opposite ear. And then bringing your hands back underneath your shoulders. And press yourself up to all fours. And then bring your knees wide here. Your toes closer in together. And rest back in child's pose. Now using whatever props you have handy here. If you like a pillow behind your hips or underneath your chest or your head or blocks. And make yourself comfortable here. And really allow yourself to melt into this pose. The more you allow yourself to relax and let go here, the more benefit you're going to get. With every exhale, let your hips relax more towards your feet. Let your chest, your arms, even your armpits melt towards the floor. Slowly bringing yourself back to all fours. And then find yourself laying back again. Laying on your back, keeping your knees bent. And just a couple of breaths here to let the spine readjust. Bringing the feet hip bone distance apart. And crossing the right ankle over the left knee. Now bring your hands to your thighs, palms to your thighs. And then we're just going to drag the hands all the way down the thighs so your wrists are on your hip bones here. Now think about really relaxing your low back. And at the bottom of your next exhale, really start to press forward with the hands, pressing on the thighs. We're finding a traction stretch on the low spine here. Sometimes it takes me a couple of tries to find it. relaxing the arms. And go ahead and thread the needle here. Right hand comes through, interlace the hands behind that left thigh. And gently pulling in towards the body. That right foot, the one closer to your face, flex it. Pull the pinky toe back towards the knee. Same with this stretch. If the static hold feels good, just stay here. Or maybe try rocking side to side just a little bit here. Noticing how that stretch changes with that little bit of movement. Keeping your legs just as they are, we're going to drop this whole operation to the left. The legs are coming to the left just as they are. So that right foot is going to come flat onto the ground. And then look to your right. I like to hold on to that right foot with the left hand. You don't have to. And now experiment a little bit with this right leg. See how it feels to pull that knee towards you. And see how it feels to press it away from you. They just offer a bit of a different stretching sensation here. Decide which one feels better for you today and stick with that. Slowly, carefully here, come back to the center. And then switch. Bring that right foot down, cross the left ankle over. And then bringing your hands to the thighs and then pulling them down. So your wrists are resting here on your hip bones. Now find lots of relaxation in the low back. Let that tension go. And at the bottom of an exhale, press forward with the hands, stretching that low back. Sometimes it takes a couple tries, but this is a really nice traction stretch for your low back. Just pulls it longer. Let the arms relax and thread the needle here. Left hand comes through, interlace behind the thigh. And gently pulling towards you, pulling that right thigh towards you. And then that left foot, flex it. It's sort of a light switch for those hip flexors. Pull the pinky toe back towards the knee. Either staying here or finding that rocking motion from side to side. Really slow and mindful here. My dog is breathing really heavy close to the speaker, so maybe his breath will remind you to breathe. And keeping your legs as they are, we're going to drop all of that towards the right. This left foot is coming flat onto the ground. I like to hold it, that's up to you, but look towards your left. And sort of experiment with this raised knee. Pull it towards you. Press it away from you. See what stretch better suits you today, and stick with that one. Coming back to the center, nice and slow and easy here. And then bring both feet to the floor, knees bent. And keeping your feet hip distance apart, knees hip distance apart. Pulling your heels back towards your hips. And let's make fists today, making fists and turn the pinky side down towards the mat. And really pressing down with the fists, pressing down with the arms. Lift the hips to a bridge pose. Maybe rolling the shoulders under a little bit. Now either staying here with the arms, or maybe bending the elbows, pulling the fists up next to your hips. See what feels better on your shoulders. Breathe here, really long neck. Keep your chin away from your chest. Slowly unrolling the shoulders, releasing your spine one vertebrae at a time, but letting your hips fall a little bit more to the right. And then let your knees fall to the left and look to the right. Back to the center. Adjust your hips back to the center. And find a bridge pose second time. So start with the fists. Lift the hips, lift the chest. Press down with the arms, maybe rolling the shoulders. And staying here or bending the elbows, finding the fists next to the hips. Whatever feels better on your shoulders here, whatever allows them to open the most. Think about pressing your chest up and back towards the wall behind you, but always keeping that chin away from the chest. Nice long neck. Pretend like you're squeezing a block between your knees. Your legs are engaged. Unrolling the shoulders, releasing the spine one vertebrae at a time, letting your hips this time fall just a couple inches towards the left. And then letting the knees fall to the right and look to the left. Coming back to the center, pulling your hips back to the center. And then letting yourself find your Savasana, using whatever perhaps you like, whatever you have on hand. Giving yourself a few moments here to make any adjustments. However you are most comfortable. Letting your eyes close down. Letting your feet relax out to the sides. Tucking your shoulder blades back down into their little pockets. Letting your feet melt towards the floor. And letting the floor melt beneath your feet. Relaxing your calves, the backs of your knees, your kneecaps, let them soften. Feel your thigh bones melt down over your hamstrings. As you release your hips towards the earth. Breathe into your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. Feel your shoulders melt down towards your elbows, your wrists, your hands, fingers. Relaxing the back of your neck. Feeling your throat melt like warm wax. Feel your eyes grow heavy in their sockets. Feel your brain grow heavy as the back of your skull softens. Relaxing the areas behind your ears and at the corners of your mouth. And bringing your awareness right between your eyebrows, the center of your forehead. As you open to stillness. Finding first the sound of my voice, then finding small movements with your body, fingers, your toes, your face. Bringing your awareness back to your limbs, back to the mat. And taking your time as you're ready, maybe bending one knee and then the other. And making your way back to a seated position. And let's bring our hands to our forehead. Prayer hands to the forehead. To remind us to have kind and clear thoughts. And to our lips for kind and clear words. And to our heart for kind and clear intentions. Thank you. Namaste.